you so much, Marla. Thank you so much, Marla, and everyone over at OrthoFi for having me. I could do these webinars all night long, and I appreciate everyone's time because I know we're all busy right after work. But like Marla said, I'm a certified clown. So I use every opportunity I can to make my patients and coworkers laugh. It's the benefit of being a clown, right? So I've got some fun stuff to share with you. Give me a few minutes. Enjoy. So as you just witnessed, I'm willing to wear silly wigs, use fun props. Heck, I'll even wear an old high school mascot uniform to grab people's attention. So today, I hope I have your full attention because I'm not clowning around when I say technology like OrthoFi and social media are going to enhance your patient culture, grab your patient's experience, and definitely increase those starts. So today, on behalf of OrthoFi, all I can do is boast about them because they were such a game changer in my office as I was a treatment coordinator for the last 7 years. And one of the things I love most about OrthoFi is all of the data and time and research they put in to collecting data. And that first sentence right there says an average patient has 2.5 consults before starting treatment. And even consultant Chris Benson just said on a webinar last week that because of this recession, people are shopping around a lot more than they used to. So we really, really have to try hard to grab that patient's attention, educate them, and encourage them to start treatment by the time they come in for that new patient consult. So today I'm going to go through all sorts of different examples on how I did that as a treatment coordinator for the last 7 years. So before I do that, huge shout out to our supportive admin team over at Ask Orthodontics. This is the powerhouse behind answering all these new patient phone calls. And that's really where it all starts in that first expression or that first experience starts at that new patient phone call. So here I have an example of a new patient phone slip. Huge shout out to Shimon Consulting and Straight Consulting. We've taken some information from them and advice and applied it to this slip. I'm not going to go over everything on this slip, but I do encourage you to take a screenshot. You can copy whatever you want from it. But this is where we really start off by showcasing how we're efficient and we're the experts in the industry and all of our products and things like that. Another thing Chris Benson mentioned in this webinar that he hosted was that after conducting a poll, what adults want most out of an orthodontic office is communication and efficiency. And so I always think, well, how can we showcase that? Patients just don't think like, well, this office is great at communicating. You got to really showcase that stuff. So we trained the team over at Askler to start off these new patient phone calls by asking the patients if they wanted a smile assessment, and they would explain that, or an in-house appointment. And again, explain that. And almost every patient was taken back like, wow, you're giving me this option? Okay. I didn't know you did smile assessments. Please explain, things like that. And it puts the ball in their court. So now the patient is the one leading the conversation. Based on whatever decision they make, the admin team would go through collecting the demographics. And during that time, this is where they're really starting to strengthen the relationship and start the relationship off with the patient in our office. So during that time, they're edifying the office, edifying the team, sharing that they're on social media and things like that. Another important feature or part during this new patient phone slip is asking the patient their preferred method of communication. And almost every patient on the phone would be like, oh, I've never been asked that before. Okay, yeah, I'm not really good at email. Send me a text. So that's really important because the admin team would then put an alert in the patient's chart. And that's super important for both myself as a treatment coordinator, if the patient goes into pending or all the things I send patients prior to them coming in for the consult, I want to hit them with their preferred method of communication. Super important too for the clinicians when they have to reschedule an appointment. You want to meet them where they're mostly going to respond back to you. Now, towards the end of this new patient phone slip, yes, they're collecting where their what their general dentist said and who they are and who referred them and stuff. But this is where they really have to act like mini treatment coordinators. And we trained the admin team members to do this, because back in the day when we didn't train them, that admin person on the phone would say, oh, why are you seeking treatment? Now, most people are seeking treatment because of misaligned teeth, but sometimes parents would say, oh, my child has a crossbite. So I would do all this prep work, showcasing what someone with a crossbite might need before coming into the office. This patient was receiving all this. Then the patient would come in thinking, and Dr. Rob and I would think, oh, this won't be a same day start today, guys. This person needs an expander. And we all know an expander takes time at the lab. Well, the patient would come in and they didn't have a crossbite, they had an overbite. But parents make this stuff up. Parents don't understand the orthodontic jargon. It's a foreign language to them. So that's our job, or the admin team member's job, to really act like mini treatment coordinators, really get those details to the parents, explaining the crossbite or explaining whatever it is they have. If the parent is like, I don't know, I'm driving, I have no clue, then they call the dentist and they get that information. But that leads to the end where they're asking the parent, okay, have you thought about, or even the adult patient, have you thought about braces or Invisalign? What is it that you're thinking? And whatever it is that the patient said they wanted, they then educate them and kind of give them a little heads up on what to expect. Adults nowadays are going to general dentists and getting what's called the CEREC crown, where it's made within the hour of being there. So patients think Invisalign is made within an hour. They have no clue. So it's our job to educate them and set up that expectation and explain to them what to expect. So lots of details are given on these new patient consults, and we want patients to hang up and be like, wow, that was an experience. That was fun, and not have to shop around. Because I guarantee when they go to hang up and call the other place is just sounding like the DMV, and they're not encouraging them to going to check out social media and stuff like that. So that's where I talk a lot about what's important on your social media page and what you should be showcasing, because when they hang up with this call, you want to be able to have a really good, thriving social media platform. One of the things I love most about OrthoFi is they literally make this whole new patient process so easy for these patients, and patients commend us for this. So back in the day before OrthoFi, we would have to take all this piece of paper, stuff it in envelopes, get stamps, mail it in hopes it was going to, be received by the time this patient came back 3 days later for their consult. And then just to have the patient be like, oh, I left the paperwork on the front desk or whatever. So this is where we have mobile forms, and they text and email the patients their forms. Fill it out once, no repeated questions or anything like that has to happen when they come in. Those that have OrthoFi that are on this webinar, you know how awesome this is, but those that don't have OrthoFi, this has been one of the many game changers and systems that OrthoFi has, and helps really streamline that whole new patient process. So I'm hoping most of you TCs out there are familiar with what's called the new patient TC video, which I'm going to go in great detail about in a moment. But we one up to that. We do the doctor intro video. So before a patient comes in for their consult, the admin team hangs up, puts them into our software program, puts them into OrthoFi, and then sends them this text. This is a message from Dr. Rob. We use Rhinogram as our texting feature, so we just created a template, very easy to do. And then I had pre-recorded a video of Dr. Rob. Took like 30 seconds. We leave it on YouTube, but that YouTube link goes in here. And now the patient is being introduced to the doctor before they even come into the office. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video for you guys.
Thank you for scheduling a new patient exam and entrusting either you or a member of your family to join our Askler family here at Askler Orthodontics. Janelle's going to be taking a ton of photos and images the day that you come in for your exam, so that I can confirm a treatment plan that's going to work great for you guys in the timing for when you're going to start treatment here at Askler. Thank you guys again. We look forward to meeting you soon.
So I can't tell you how many times people would respond back and be like, oh my goodness, I met the doctor. That's great. That was wonderful customer service. Wow, the doctor's not as scary as the guy down the road. It speaks volumes, and it gets them to know Dr. Rob before they even step foot into the office. And again, it was something we just used a company cell phone. I videotaped them, recorded it, put it up right onto YouTube. It sits on YouTube, but the link is sent to those patients before they come in. So now we've got the new patient doctor video. We're going to jump into the new patient TC video. And for those that don't know this beautiful lady, this is Danielle. I've got to constantly give her credit because she's the one I learned this new patient video from. Dr. Rob Rob was at the Orthopreneurs Conference, saw a video example of hers up on the screen, sent me a text while I was in the team track at this conference and said, "You're starting this on Monday." I was like, "What? More camera time, more ways for the patient to get to know our office?" Sold. So I'm going to go into super great detail in this next video on the logistics and all the ins and outs on how I create this video, what it is I need for this video. I've done these webinars multiple times, and at the end, I always get emails like, "Well, how do you do this? How do you do that?" So I apologize for this couple minute video, but you're going to see all the ins and outs that take place. But before that video plays, again, I like to grab people's attention. And I found that when I would send this new patient video, what would happen was I would email it to them. The patients would come in and I'm like, "Why do they act like they don't know me? Like, this video should express me. They should walk in like they know me. Everyone else does." And so I would say to them, "Oh, did you see that video where I explained the Invisalign?" And they would say, "No, I didn't get no video. Oh, I don't check my email." And I'm like, "Whoop." And that's what caused us to put that alert right on the chart. But it was because it was just sitting in their inbox. Not everyone reads it. So to grab people's attention, I created this little template. We designed it in Canva and we use Rhinogram, like I said, for our texting platform. And it was a template, and I would send this to the new patients. Now new patients are getting it and are like, "Wow, who's this chick with a mohawk? And oh, look at, I've got mail. This sounds fun and intriguing. Oh, they're on social. That's right. I got to go check them out." So just be reminded that they are being told twice now to follow our office on social media, which is really going to help boost sales because they're going to be well educated on the culture and all the different services and products we offer. But here's that video I was talking about.
All right, everyone, I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes for the logistics of how I send a new patient video. What I do is I use my personal cell phone. I create the video on here. I forward it to my work email. From that work email, I will forward it to the patient. That way the patient's parent does not have my personal cell number. They see my signature and all the AskClear information all tied into that email. And then it keeps it HIPAA compliant as well. But for right now, you're going to see behind the scenes of how I create it. As you see, I don't have a light ring or perfect lighting. I'm just here in the TC room, and I'm using just a cell phone, okay? Also, before I send this, I do want to let you know, before I send, I make sure they are on the OrthoFi dashboard. The biggest indicator that I need before I send this is making sure that their insurance is verified. Typically, OrthoFi verifies the insurance either months, weeks, a week, or 1 to 2 days before the new patient exam. With that said, I make sure that they have their insurance coverage in there because I will add that to their out-of-pocket costs. This patient, for example, the mom did call. She told us that he's got no more baby teeth. She's a hygienist and knows that the patient is class 1. So I'll talk to you a little about that at the end of this video. And they don't have insurance, so you'll hear me give the actual out-of-pocket cost, okay? Hi, Nicole. My name is Janelle. I'm the treatment coordinator here at AskClear Orthodontics, and I see your son Devin's coming in for a new patient consult. So when he gets home from school, make sure you show him this video. Hi, Dev. Again, I'm Janelle. I'm going to be hanging out with you when you come in for your consult, which is going to be super easy. All I have to do is take a bunch of pictures and images of your teeth. Then Dr. Rob will come in, make a recommendation. Whatever it is he recommends, I will go over with you and your mom in great detail what life with braces will be like. I understand from when your mom called to make the appointment, you've got no baby teeth left, which means you are ready for braces. To my understanding, she does not, and you don't want the clear liners, nor do you want the metal braces. So your only best option is these custom-made Light Force braces. As you know, they come in either clear or white. So at this appointment, I am going to go over in great detail what life will be like getting your braces on, all the in-between appointments, and what life with braces will be like. Other than that, Nicole, of course, in order to send off all of his records to production to get these custom-made braces made, they do take 6 weeks, and we do require a signed agreement. So be prepared for us to go over all of the costs and things like that. I know they told you over the phone we have super easy, flexible financing, and I see you don't have insurance. So just be aware that the total cost for braces is $6,200. With that, you choose your own down payment. Then we set you up on 0 interest financing, all in-house, for payments just auto deduct from whatever payment method you keep on file. Or you can pay in full to save 10%, which is $620. We accept cash, check, credit card. The only thing we don't accept is care credit. And as you know, before we can send this off to production to get everything made, we will go ahead and sign that agreement when you guys are in. If you have any questions prior, you let me know. And Devin, make sure you check us out on social media. We've got all sorts of behind the scene TikToks and videos on what it's like getting these braces on, getting them off, and all the in-between stuff. All right, I look forward to meeting you guys. See you soon. Bye. So if the patient did not tell us that they're class 1, which many parents don't tell us that information. I would have said, you know, we've got this option of the Light Force custom made braces at $6,200. If his bite is off and he needs a bite moving appliance, sometimes I will show them the Carrier in that video and say this comes at an extra $400. But with that worst case scenario, the total cost will be $6,700. And then I'll go into, if they had insurance coverage, I'll deduct that and explain to them their out-of-pocket costs. So the more information I can give them, which is, and making it short and simple, is my goal. I want to prepare them to sign that day. And I don't want them to just know the cost of this if they're possibly a class 2 and then come in and are told it's $400 more. So I try to do that a lot. Well, good luck with making your videos, everyone. Bye.
That was weird to stare at myself for that last 2 minutes. And I almost wore that same shirt, which would have been really tacky. Anyhow, before we go on to this slide, I just want to say a lot of people ask me, well, don't parents call back and cancel because they can't afford it? Hardly ever. If anything, parents were emailing me back and starting conversations before they even came in for this consult to say X, Y, and Z, or how can we do this and how we can do it. They were figuring out those financials. Is it challenging to give financials over a video before they step foot in the office? In our office, the way we were structured with the prices was each different type of appliance was a certain price. And if they needed a bite moving appliance, it increased. So that's where I was very transparent. So sometimes they would come in and not need braces at all. So they saved that $6,200, whatever it may be, but we can talk more about that later. But this is just me showing that I had watched a webinar with Diana Weaver, the director at Shimon Consultant, that said 82% of buyers viewed 5 to 8 pieces of content before a vendor even made a buying decision. So that's where marketing is essential. And you just heard at the end of that video, that's now the 3rd time I told them, go follow us on social media. So make sure you guys are really boasting and showing off that you guys are in social media. That's going to increase your exposure and increase those algorithms. Okay. But this is where they need to go to learn about these products and see real footage and see examples and things like that. So when they come in, they're like, oh yeah, I know all about that. The social media did half the selling for me because they were well educated before they even came in. And this is what your social media should look like. Short form video content, 30 seconds or less is what social media is turning into. Gone are the days of posting pictures. Save pictures for like your Instagram stories, okay? Because that's the algorithm is going to push those photos down. The algorithm likes these 30-second short form video clips. This is what you should be showcasing, is that you guys are the experts. You are smart. You know what you're talking about. You're also fun. And you're up with all the hip little trendy sounds. Anytime a representative or a sales rep, you name it, came into the office, I'm telling you, I would stalk them for their phone number and be like, hey, this is Janelle Baum. We're going to do a TikTok. If you can come dressed your best, makeup, whatever, we're doing a TikTok to show off your product. And we were known for that. And I encourage and empower you guys to do the same. Because the ad is free advertisement for these products and these companies, and it's just a win-win situation for all. But having videos on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, all of that is super crucial because that's where the patients are. Whether it's adults or kids, this is where they are on their phone, and this is how they do their Googles and their research and things like that. So make sure you've got a bunch of great content on there. And make it easy for them to do the research. I can't tell you how many times kid patients would call the office being like, oh, I got a pokey wire. What do I do? And we're like, okay, well, looking at your chart, looks like you're on Instagram. So go ahead, go to our Instagram bio, click on the link. This is Linktree, which I loved because it's a simple, easy, free website. You can just link it right into your bio and boom, you can make all these little separate links that have videos to them. So if it's these commonly asked questions that people are calling in for, they can easily go and look for it instead of maybe searching your YouTube page or whatever it may be. We do a great job showcasing our office and getting the patients to know us, but OrthoFi's got our back and does a great job allowing us to learn more about the patients before they even come in for the consult. So they've taken that electronic form, health history form, and condensed it into this, what we call a cheat sheet. This was my best friend. This cheat sheet lived on. What's awesome about OrthoFi too is they provide tablets for you. So I would always, as a TC, walk around, not with a cell phone, but like a bigger tablet. And the cheat sheet was right up there. So as the patients were in, I was able to look through it. It would showcase what hobbies they did, if their parents were divorced, where they worked, what grade they were in, things that would help start off conversations and things like that. But it was a quick little cheat sheet, just So you're not looking through sheets of health history forms and things like that. They also had this little poll on there, which was super important. I would use this all the time. So as I was a treatment coordinator, I had that poll up here on my little Orthofy iPad, and I would say things if the patient called the new patient phone call and did not explain whether they wanted braces or Invisalign or whatever, and they were just one of those people that were like, I don't know, I got to go, would answer this, I would pull this up and try to get that information from the patient. And they were always in awe because they're like, okay, I'm glad you're utilizing this and I'm not being asked the same questions that I just had to fill out or the same questions on the phone. This is great. So this was really helpful and super easy to follow and easy to read and use. Orthofy is a leader in same day starts. So for any of you non-Orthofy users out there, if you want to be on the leaderboard, I highly encourage you to schedule a demo with Orthofy. It's going to be the well-spent hour of your life. Just go ahead, schedule a demo, and you're going to learn all the ins and outs about Orthofy and how it's going to be a game changer in your office. So one of the things Orthofy is commonly known for is the slider tool. It's much more than that, but the slider tool as a treatment coordinator was my best friend. It took out that awkwardness of presenting fees. So back in the day, we used to have like carbon copy paper, and I would have to guess what the patient would be able to afford for that down payment and then do the math and add in the insurance and all that. And then we would have all this fun in this TC room and then go to Dr. Rob's office, and I would sit down like, I don't know, principal, I felt like, and slide that paper over to them, be maybe sticker shocked or feeling uncomfortable because they can't afford that down payment and felt too nervous to tell me like, I can't afford it. Can we go do something else? So they would always leave and they would always go on pending. Well, that's when Orthofy came into our office. And now because of the power of open choice that patients have on the slider, they sit and choose. And when I presented the slider, like I said, it's on the tablet or iPad. If the patient's standing, I'm standing up next to him, super casual, treating money like it was just a same thing about the braces. I don't change the tone, or I'll kneel down next to them. I make it fun and I make it the same way. And Orthofy allows that because it's super easy and it's putting it again in the patient's control, and it's being efficient and it's feeling like open communication, which is all the important things that adult patients want. So Scott and Tracy over at Straight Consulting always taught me make friends and make money small. So I literally ran with that.
And so Orthofy is going to email you 7 days before your next payment, just to remind you that it's due. If you need to change it, you just log right into Orthofy and go ahead and change it. This shows that Dr. Rob will waive all late fees, so you are never going to get charged a late fee, okay? If you want to make extra payments, you can do so by refinancing, doing whatever you like. Make extra payments, you can log right into Orthofy. Okay?
Can I make extra payments after?
Oh, you can make extra payments when you're all done. Okay, yes, if you want to add interest,
I'll just give it to your cheerleading squad.
Okay.
Now, what's great about that video is, yes, that little mini hand, but that patient did her research before she came to our office. She saw and witnessed our office culture all from social media. She knew, well, this is going to be fun. She had fun on that new patient phone call. Then she met Dr. Rob via video and she met me via video. So she came in ready for a production and she told us that. And it was like a Saturday Night Live skit, the whole consult. Okay. Now, am I encouraging you to use mini hands and funny props during the signing of the contract? Yes. Yes, I am. You're just going to still have fun. Obviously, some points you got to take it seriously, but just make it like it is everything else. Don't change your tone. Have fun with it. What's awesome about that patient is at the end, she walked out of the office being like, hey, husband, I just spent $6,000, but hey, I'm TikTok famous. And it was huge. It was awesome. So the whole experience is what she was looking for, and we exceeded that. She didn't feel just processed so long. She knew coming in, we were that kind of office. So we had a lot of fun with that one. Now, we're all about videos. You know how people always say, oh, there's an app for that. Well, we're at Askler, we're like, we got a video for that. So when patients are done meeting with me and they sign the contract and they leave, we have videos set up for every type of contract or something that needs a lab slip that's for a start appointment kind of video. And the reason we do this is to keep those lines of open communication open. Because as a treatment coordinator, I'm sure some of you can attest, when you're talking to patients, they're not paying attention after a while and they're on their cell phones or they're like looking at your earrings, whatever. And you're telling them, okay, expect some soreness, expect this, expect that. And boom. And then they come in for their start appointment and they're like, what were these bumps on my teeth? Remember Janelle told you were getting attachments? No. Okay, because they weren't paying attention. So to overcome that miscommunication of them not paying attention, we kind of hold them accountable. So we videotaped Dr. Rob explaining each treatment to the patient. So here is just a small little video of a Carrier appliance, for example. And this is what I would send to someone if they signed the contract that day.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for choosing Askler again. Guess what? You're getting this fancy new Carrier appliance soon. All right. Really important because it's going to start fixing your bite. All right. The biggest thing about this appliance is you're going to be wearing these rubber bands all the time. All right. And consistency is key. The better you wear your rubber bands, the faster it fixes your bite. All right. You'll notice some weird things happening. Your eye tooth is going to start feeling loose and wiggly to you. Might be a little uncomfortable, but the better you are at wearing them, right, the less it starts bugging you over time. Right. And you guys will see very, very dramatic changes in your bite and really help out your treatment. Thank you guys again. We'll see you soon.
And again, we did this because adult patients were the ones that almost didn't pay as much as attention as kids. Kids are kind of resilient. Their teeth are moving. They don't ask questions, but adults are so honed into that kind of stuff in super detail. So I would tell every adult patient, we didn't do a lot of adults with Carrier, whatever it is, that we wouldn't use that appliance a lot on adults, but when we did, we would tell them, okay, that tooth is going to feel a little loose, and they weren't paying attention and they would start, and we just don't want a bad experience. So that's why these videos were super powerful, because they went into that start appointment being like, that's right, this is going to happen. So again, like I said, we have a video for everything, and these are all just videos. I literally used the company cell phone, videotaped, uploaded it to YouTube, and we created a template in Rhinogram, and we have a system set in place where every patient that starts and signs a contract gets this video after they've left the appointment. So what happens if they don't start? Well, you've done all this work and you still get those patients that are like, I'm going to go home and talk to my husband. So, okay, we respect that. Or they're shopping around, right? Well, OrthoFi's got a bunch of systems set in place where you can have them set it up so they send follow-up texts and follow-up emails and phone calls to the patients. I chose in my office to have that feature off. So that's what's great about OrthoFi, is they let you have those decisions. But I had a whole system set in place, which I'm going to show you what I did when I would follow up with pending patients. One of the things I empower you treatment coordinators to do to make that pending list easier is any patient that's in the office, have them take pictures of their teeth. Kids really weren't into this, but the parents were into taking pictures of their kids' teeth. But almost every adult was most interested in taking pictures of their teeth because they're not used to seeing it with the cheek retractors and all sorts of different angles. They're used to seeing their teeth and their smile in the mirror. So this is what works as like free advertisement, because now it's in their photo gallery. And now if they're pending, they're the ones reminded of the problem. And hopefully it's selling them to get to our office. Plus, it's a good tool because now their husbands who they have to go home and talk to, they can show them like graphic pictures of their teeth that show a lot more misalignment than just the smile picture. So I encourage you all to have your kids take, or your patients take pictures of their teeth. But I always took screenshots of the iTero screen after I was done scanning them. And of course I show them and stuff like that, but I was also taking screenshots of the heat map. And when they would go into follow-up and I would follow up, or go into pending and I would follow up them, I would send them this stuff because it's just more powerful images of the problem that they're trying to fix. And it would always cause an off after, and they would be like, ugh. And I would use that heat map to explain, you keep chipping that front tooth, just like your doctor says, if you straighten those teeth out, you won't hit them. And this is a perfect example of showing you on that heat map where you're hitting the most. And patients love this. And I can guarantee when they were shopping around, no other office was sending them this kind of stuff. So again, it grabbed their attention and it kept that communication open between our office and them. As we got towards the end of like the 3-month follow-up, I would send them a postcard. And this is kind of a grainy looking postcard. It didn't scan in well, but it's just an obnoxious picture of Dr. Rob sitting on, and I sitting on the porch with phones. And on the back, it says a witty message of how we're trying to get a hold of them. But we used to have a stock image photo, and I was like, no. If people are shopping around, we need to remind them of us and the fun we had and the office culture and send them this. Because if they are shopping around and they're pending at all these other offices, these offices are sending them, boring stock images photos, which is something I do not want you guys to ever use, and saying something like your dental health is important to us. No patient's going to be intrigued and call you. So go back and take a picture with you and your doctor, your team, and remind these pending patients of the fun they had and who you are. So if they are shopping around, you guys stand out. Okay, so these pending patients are now pending and they're at home, and OrthoFi again comes through to make my life as a treatment coordinator so much easier. So patients now have the ability to sign the contract from home. So any of you non-OrthoFi users, I can't tell you how exciting it was after a patient would leave, go into pending. The next day I would come in and I would get an alert from OrthoFi that they signed the contract from home. Patients like that sometimes. Yes, we give them the power of open choice using the iPad. And when I would show them the iPad, I would walk away and do chart notes, giving them that privacy, but some still need to go home, and I respect that. So that's where half of our patients would sign the contract from home. And just to paint a picture for you, our office is a small office. It was one doctor, one treatment coordinator, 3 clinic chairs. So last year we had 444 starts and 120 of them were signed from home. So I probably wouldn't be giving this speech today if I didn't have that sign at home feature, because I wouldn't be as successful as I was, and I would have be all over those envelopes, sending pending after pending envelopes all day long. We're here, it now frees up my time because these guys sign from home and we get them started. So another thing about OrthoFi is they're just, again, awesome on researching data. And as you know, as soon as the new patient leaves that office, your conversion rate drops. So that's where you really have to be proactive as a practice and prepare the entire team to help convert these patients. So that's where it's a team effort to post on social media, make these kind of TikToks and things like that. Am I asking you guys to do silly dance skits and stuff? No, because I don't know how to dance to a choreographed dance move. But using typodonts and things like that, or patient's mouth, those are the kind of things that you can post if you follow the viral structures of social media, that's really going to gain your patient's attention. So it should be a work or a team effort, but we don't want that conversion rate to drop. So you got to work as a team to make it. Again, this is just going into some reports that before we used OrthoFi, so back in like 2016, the word same day start, I don't think even existed until we started OrthoFi, and we're like, oh, this is a thing. But each year and each quarter, you can see the same day start percentage increase. So that's huge. So those that are not OrthoFi offices, again, think of these numbers in your office and your conversion rate. It's worth looking into. So now, again, we have to meet the patients where they're at. Okay. So now say they did start in the office. Yay. So again, we have a video for the day they start, because we all know as clinicians, you tell them all the rules of what it's like to wear Invisalign and all that. And the adults aren't paying attention. They're on their cell phones. They're looking at you and whatever. So again, we have a different video now that they have the treatment on their teeth and what to expect the next few days. So it's nice and fresh in their memory. This has really decreased the number of calls. So when patients would come in or call and say they've had whatever happened in their mouth, they were so well educated from the treatment coordinator appointment, from the stuff they see on social media, the video they got the day they signed the contract, and the video they got the day they started. So it really lessened the number of calls, and patients were much more compliant, which is super, super important, which again, falls under the category of efficiency, which is what Chris Benson said is one of the number one things that patients are most concerned about. And this is just another video example of what we send to the patient, and this would improve any complaints and compliance. And
you got your Invisalign today, right? I'm going to give you guys some basic care instructions for your Invisalign layer here. Okay, so let's first talk about getting them.
So we won't go through the whole life with Invisalign. You guys all know what that is. But one of the other barriers I was finding was that when I would have a new patient come into the office for their consult, and it being an adult, I would go out to the reception room and be like, oh, Sarah, hi, I'm Janelle, the treatment coordinator. And Sarah would walk in like this. And I'm like, what's happening? Are you part of the witness protection program? Why are we hiding? And she's like, oh, I'm so embarrassed to be here. You guys, you don't see adults, do you? Am I the only adult? And immediately I was like, oh, I collected Dr. Rob and the team after that, was like, we have to do our best to advertise adult treatment on our page, on our social media pages, platforms, you name it. And they were like, okay, what can we do? Again, no one in the office was good dancers. We're like, how do we do this? But it's super important to advertise that you guys treat adults. So as many videos as you can with adults is super important. I was usually the one who would just walk around with the company cell phone and grab footage and turn everything into content, because to me, everything is content. But if I was with a new patient and I couldn't, I empowered Dr. Rob or the team member just to do a nice testimonial, explaining like what their experience was like and things like that. Is this following one of the viral structures that's going to go viral? No, but it's super important, because then when we started this conversation with this gentleman, we were like, oh, do you know what TikTok is? Is it okay if we interview for you for TikTok and YouTube? He was like, no, but my grandkids do. So this is great. And he was thrilled to be on it.
Ready? How was your appointment today, Gary?
Wonderful. Had a great time. Loved every minute of it.
How did our birthday girl Bree do over there for
We
you?
did a wonderful job.
Excellent. Would you recommend this for our other adult patients?
I highly would recommend it.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Again, society doesn't know what they don't know. So it's your job to advertise all of that and show those kind of videos. What's great is when patients are done being videotaped for this kind of stuff, when we upload them right onto the app, takes no longer than 5 minutes. We send them the link, we send them the raw video, and then we post it all over social media, and we tell them, hey, make sure you post it on social media, make sure you send it to your grandkids. And every time he came in, he was like, my grandkids think I am the coolest grandpa being on TikTok. And then the kids are spreading it. And again, that's free advertisement, guys. So think about how important that is. And then we keep that experience going all the way through D-Band Day. This lady here, I had asked her, I'm like, do you know what TikTok is? And she kept calling it like Tic Tacs. I think it was funny, but she was like, yeah, my grandkids use it. I'm like, well, we're going to do a TikTok and we're going to go viral. And she's like, no, I can't dance. I can't do anything. I said, you have to do nothing. And all we used was one of those viral sounds, and we created a really good, heartwarming experience for her in this video.
He's got him.
And again, that was something we sent to her. The content went viral. Her grandkids thought she was the coolest, and she showed all her friends, and I can tell you she referred a lot of people to the office. So it's super important to advertise that. So now it's time to get out your cell phones. If you haven't gotten them out already, hopefully you guys are taking pictures and taking screenshots and making videos and sharing it on your office's social media feed, because that really shows off that you guys and your doctor invest in you, and you're investing in yourself to learn from a lot of awesome people out there, and just constantly being on top of all of the orthodontic trends. It says a lot to your patients. But if you guys want to follow me, this first page, the Ortho Influencer, that is like my ortho related Instagram page. If you have any questions about today, need a screenshot of the new patient phone slip, whatever it may be, email me there. And then if you want to see what I'm like in real life and in all my clowning skits and as a fun mom, you can follow me on my personal TikTok page as well. But the most important part that you need your cell phone for is what I'm about to show you. So if you guys are interested in learning how to grow your office organically in the right way and save your office $6,000, $7,000, whatever it costs for marketing companies to post to social media for you, you can learn to do it yourself. You can learn all the viral structures about social media, and you can learn all about how to organically grow your office and create really great ads and save money on Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and things like that. Scan this QR code. It will take you to the homepage. It will tell you a little bit about Dr. Benjamin Winters, AKA known as the Bentis on TikTok. And then you can set up a discovery call with me once you get to the bottom of that homepage. And I can talk to you and your doctors and your team all about the ins and outs of what it's like to join Bizzy. What is Bizzy? It's a self-paced course where you as a team can watch all of these modules of Ben going through how to do social media the right way. And then there's a whole course of a guy named Noah, who is an expert in TikTok ads. He owns his own ad agency, and you and your doctor and your team can learn how to do all of this the right way. It's, also included in it is a private mentorship. So once a month, you guys get to Zoom with us and Ben and Noah, and they can ask questions. And there's a private, it's not a Facebook page, but it's a private website where you have that one-on-one communication with Ben and Noah, which is huge, because just to consult with them alone for an hour on social media is $5,000. So to be able to have that direct line of communication is awesome. But what's even more exciting is any OrthoFi client that was referred by OrthoFi to Bizzy can receive a discounted rate with Bizzy. And again, it includes the masterclass course taught by Ben and Noah, that private group discussion that you have full access to all the time, 5-mile radius, so no other office around you can have access to this course, so act fast. And then we're offering really good discounts from orthodontic companies if you're a client with Bizzy. Plus, you're going to learn how to create really good ads that pay back and bring in a bunch of new patients in your area. All right, guys, that concludes today's presentation. So I'm really excited to go ahead and let me get the stop sharing up and answer some questions if you guys got any.
So, Janelle, your volume has gotten a little like you're far away just in the last few minutes. Can you say hi, team?
Yeah, hi, team. Can you hear me?
That's a little bit better.
Okay.
I'm afraid that you kind of you got a little quieter. And so one of the questions that we actually had was, I'm not super savvy with social media. So do you have any recommendations on good ways to get training and get started? For those of you who couldn't hear what Janelle was talking about with Bizzy, if you don't mind, Janelle, put that slide up one more time, because I want to make sure that the people who are on this did get to see that what you were talking about there. And so this is the business that Janelle is now working on with Dr. Ben Winters, and he, just has a tremendous social media following and has really gained a lot of experience from that. And so this is a course where you can learn some of that. So that is part of the answer, I think, here. If some of you want to jump on and jump in with Dr. Winters and Janelle on that, use this QR code and scan that. But then also, Janelle, I'd also just like to hear from you if they aren't ready to just jump into this course. We'd love to hear kind of how do you practice your videos, like kind of if they really want to embrace video. Do you have some suggestions on just getting started?
Yeah, download all of the apps. And I mean all of the apps, because you really want to reach all the demographics. So just like Jill Allen said in the latest OrthoFi conference, there is every demographic out there that you have to meet. So there's Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. So download all the apps, play around with them. And I would even say, if you guys have kids, my kids know more about the trending sounds and all that than I do, and how to do the apps, but utilize the patients, take advantage of the patients. Your patients know this kind of stuff. So if you can incentivize them with like, oh, you broke your retainer. Okay. Instead of paying the $200 for a new retainer, can you come in and educate the team for 2 hours on how to use TikTok and things like that? So take good advantage of that. And just playing in there is getting familiar with it and looking at all of the feeds. The algorithm's going to share with you all the updates and really good content that's out there if you're in the app. If you just post sporadically and you're not consistent, you're not going to be served that good viral content. So you want to be on top of all that.
And you may have mentioned this, but remind us again, how many posts per week, or is there some kind of formula we should be looking at?
Great question. So Ben has always said, whatever works for you and that doesn't cause you to get burnt out. If it's once a day, okay. If it's once a week, okay. But it has to be consistent. Otherwise, the algorithm's not going to know that you exist. And when you go to post maybe good content, it doesn't even know you exist, and it's not going to push it to the audience. It's not the point about going viral. It is and it isn't. But when you post really good content and the algorithm catches it and you're constantly posting it, these platforms are going to incentivize you by pushing that out to a larger audience, which is then within your office, and it's going to bring you in more new patients. And that's the point. That's what we want to teach you guys, is how to create content, how to look for it, how often to post is totally up to you, as long as you can do it for life, because you got to keep up with it.
Right. So talk to us about using patients in video. Do you get permission every single time? Do you get written permission? Like what's kind of your protocol there?
Good question. So at that new patient phone call, when they, tell the new patients that we're on social media, just so you know, we encourage patients to be part of the act and things like that. Good luck if you're around Janelle, because she's going to make sure you're always in a TikTok and the parents laugh because they recognize me from social. But if a parent says on that new patient phone call, oh, we don't do social media, we're going to alert they're going to alert me. They're going to put an alert on the chart, and I'm going to bring that up at that new patient consult and say, hey, I understand you don't do social media, but, and I'll still ask for a testimonial, and you can keep it private on the YouTube page and still send them the link so they can share with their friends or do whoever. Kids do like that kind of stuff. So you're meeting the parent in the middle. I don't have a signed or a signed photo release until we sign the contract. So if a new patient comes in, we aren't going to have them sign a photo release until they've signed the contract. And if that new patient goes into ops, they don't need to sign that contract. So that's where I'll verbally just say, hey, is it okay if I get some content and I post it on? And I'm super open and transparent, and I'll say all the social media platforms. And if a parent's like, yes, but everything but TikTok or whatever it may be, I'm going to put an alert all over their chart. So anytime we film them, we can respect those rules. But it's super important because then you share them, all the links with them. And I always encourage parents, as I'm doing this TikTok or testimonial, I encourage you to videotape from behind the scenes, and then that's content. And I tell them to share it and email it to me. And then it just is more ways to make content.
Right. So what about if you feel super awkward, you're just not the person that is comfortable on video, comfortable. So would you suggest that someone still do video if they feel awkward, if they're uncomfortable?
Good question. So I get the same question asked when it comes time to asking patients for reviews. And I get that because before I asked patient for reviews, it was awkward to say. And then when the more I practiced saying it, the more natural it came out. And kids, I'm telling you, I mean, we are known for being that TikTok famous office. So when they hear about that on that new patient phone call and they're being told, follow us on social media, they're coming in kind of expecting that. So when you ask them for, okay, can we be on video or anything like that? They're kind of already like, yeah, I dressed in my prom dress today, hoping I was going to be in a TikTok. So my advice, I kind of went off there, but my advice would be, if you're awkward, just say, hey, can we take a picture and show off that as an adult that we treat adults here and get the doctor in it. Never take a picture of a patient alone. I always learned that from Dr. Dovi Pero. Make it an experience. Pictures don't do well. So hopefully you can post them on Instagram story or on Facebook. But yeah, it's just a way of trying to find a team member. I was like the office ambassador and the office cheerleader. So I would do whatever it took to get a video and get a picture. So if there's someone in your office that's really good at that, they just got to find the time to break away and do that.
Okay, great. There's a question here. If there's one thing that my practice could implement tomorrow to increase same-day starts, what would it be? So if you were just, you've given us so many great ideas today.
Yeah.
You could just pick one to okay, go implement this tomorrow. What would that
I would say on that new patient TC video, include the price as often as you can. I did a lot of research with the help of the OrthoFi cheat sheet and the insurance being verified, and the admin team members doing an awesome, impeccable job being little mini treatment coordinators on that phone call, that it helped prepare me to give that cost. And then they come in and they're ready to sign.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Janelle, this has been so fabulous. I'm going to share my screen for a minute now. Just give me just
Get out your cell phone, guys. She's got some good little clips to show you as well.
Yeah, let's see if we can do this here. Great. A couple things that we have going right now. First of all, this has been the industry expert series, and many of you have joined us for different webinars. Here are the ones that we have coming up on May 9th, how to perfect the 45-minute doctorless exam. And then on May 24th, serve more patients through tiered treatment options. What we're doing is walking through the series that we provided at our Nexus webinar. And so just want to make sure you guys are joining us for these other webinars. We're also going to be at the AAO in Chicago. Would love to see you there. And then we're doing a masterclass live with Tina Byrne, May 11 and 12. So if you want to hear about any of these, make sure that you reach out to hear more about that. And also for anyone here today, if you would like to learn more about OrthoFi, so I know Janelle has given a lot of really great advice and information about OrthoFi throughout the course of her webinar. And we would love to show you exactly what OrthoFi does. If you finish a demo before May 5th and do get signed up, everyone will receive $2,000 off their setup fee. So we'd love to get you on a demo. And then the first 3 practices that sign up will actually receive 50% off their implementation fee. So use this QR code if you'd like to request a demo, and we'd love to talk to you about that. Janelle, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful as always. I learned so much from you every time, and it's always entertaining as well. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. And I have one more thing, back to the question of if a patient was to implement one thing to get more starts, what it would be? Well, it would be to get an ortho-fi. And I think that's on the show.
That's a great way to end the show. We would love to speak to anyone here that's not using ortho-fi, and we have other brands too. Explore all of them. Janelle, thank you very much for joining us again. Can't wait till next time. And thank you to everyone who spent the evening with us.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.